Sorry, I got caught with like fucking TikTok.
TikTok. Take your time. Let me try to get my stuff together. Both of us over here trying to run to our areas real quick. Oh shit! Forgot about the glass in the fire. Be right back, y'all. Be right back. Be right back. Right. Alrighty. I know everybody's like, where are they? Hey, Sharice. I was trying to rush and I knocked a candle down. So I was trying to get that glass off of the floor before the cats stepped into it. Hey, Shakira, Shakira. Let's see. Hey, Lotus. What's up, baby bear? So we kind of running behind. Did I feed the cats too? It's like one chain reaction leads to another reaction. What's up, Love Jones? Yeah, it actually worked out perfect because my mom's birthday was yesterday and we were going to do a big dinner for her tonight and then do this Saturday. But she decided she didn't want no party. She was like, just give me the money and let me go to the casino. So I was like, okay, cool. We can go ahead and go live Friday. So it worked out actually.
That's
All
good.
right. What's up, Kiara, Mahogany, Mary? What's up? So tonight we're gonna try a little different concept. A lot of y'all know Marcus. We used to call him back in the days before he's elevated. He used to be the Demon King. No, Kiara, he's not the Demon King anymore. He's destroyer of universes now.
Jeez.
Is it one universe or all universes? Universes, right?
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
I
so
mean, to be
he's
honest, I would rather just be called the Demon King than the Destroyer. Than it's just I don't know. It feels even less pretentious than this name. So
okay. So well, then we'll go with Demon King. Um, so tonight, what I wanted to do because I was cleaning my area. Was it last week? I brought this to your attention, Marcus. I think it was last week. No. It might have been 2 weeks. It might have been
this
2 weeks
live,
ago.
or are you talking something different?
No, when I was cleaning it and I was moving my cards, and then the spirits were like, uh, my demon decks were like, we want to do something with Marcus, and so
Oh, right. That
so
was a
I hit,
yeah.
so I hit Marcus up, and I was like, okay, um, I'll never get messages like that, but they were like, let's see if Marcus wants to come on and do some readings. And I was like, okay, cool. So I have two decks. I have the Heaven and Earth Oracle, which basically one side has the angels, the other side has the demons. You have this deck too, right, Marcus?
Yeah, I do. I do have that deck too.
Okay, which led me to the Falling Angel deck, which I loved the artwork on this one when I ordered it. Lord, y'all, I'm over here trying to do a cleanse. I might need to evacuate in a minute. I'm cleansing my soul over here. So I was like, let's get on and do messages with this. Now, of course, Demon Decks is the aesthetic of the deck. This is just basically listing the angels and the demons and the messages that the creator put on the cards. I'm not sure how correct the information is. That's why we're going to pull Marcus in, because Marcus knows everything demon.
Well, not everything, but
A lot. So I wanted to have him come on. Now, first, before we get started, because there are a lot of people that don't know who you are. Who are you?
Well, my name is Marcus, but I guess my stage name is Doug Graves. I'm the friendly neighborhood necromancer, and you can find me on my business page. Same namesake, friendly neighborhood necromancer. I mostly do readings, don't do any kind of like spiritual work or anything like that. But it may change in the next year. But I don't know. But essentially, yeah, I do practice the occult. I do study it. I am part of a couple of initiatic traditions, uh, more with the African diasporic leaning. For those who have seen the earlier videos, or me on live with Auntie here. But yeah, other than that, I pretty much enjoy a lot of alternative forms of spirituality. But I enjoy reading about them, studying them, love mythology behind them. I'm getting to read those stories too, so and getting to know those stories as well. But definitely for the love of, I guess, spirit, and of course, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and power. But that's just me. It's not for everybody, but yeah.
He's very well versed in a lot, and I always talk to him because I feel like a lot of these systems and traditions require a lot of research. And you have to be focused. You can't just jump into it. Love Jones wants to know what's necromancy. You want to give her a quick definition of it?
It's essentially magic or systems or traditions dealing with the dead, which or has a central focus of the dead. Hey, Jazz. It's more so, I guess, a dead focus of practices using magic or divination. Traditionally, it was just strictly divination, but then it evolved over time. But if you go further back, there's a lot of stuff with spells, especially during the Hellenistic period, that deal with more working with the dead to do stuff for more practical means aside from divination. But necromancy usually just refers to divination with the dead. But it became an umbrella term after a while into more so actually working with the dead as well. So
Good, good, good. Let's see. We got Nicole. Nicole, I think Nicole said she had COVID, and she wanted to exercise the COVID. Derek, hey Derek, hey Tosh, Shishi on here, Brooklyn. So let me ask you a quick question.
sure.
What are demons? Are they
Well,
fallen angels?
Well, first and foremost, you have to ask which cosmology you're asking from, which traditions you're hailing from, and which mythologies are you pulling from. Um, if I were to give it a kind of a thematic umbrella, I guess, overview of how demons are, they're usually considered chthonic spirits, i.e., they have underworld leanings. They usually have very, I guess, explosive or aggressive energy sometimes, not all the time. They're usually cast as antagonistic entities, especially when it comes to more Western perspectives. Some Eastern perspectives, yes. But it really depends on, again, which religion, tradition, system that you're kind of like looking that particular whatever lens that you're looking at through. So um, they get a bad rap, definitely, especially with the modern vernaculars of how we use the word and the term. But just a quick Google search of where the word demon comes from, then you'd probably have even that much of a change in perception of how certain things change over time, especially the meaning of words.
So
So
where does the word come from? If you were to look it up, what
it
does it mean?
really it comes from the original word for it was daemon, so Daimon, and it's essentially just the Greco-Roman word for spirit. Well, and the things with Christianity, how it touches things and it kind of twists things to whatever suits the Christian worldview. They kind of took that word and turned it into what it is now. So, long story short, but the original word was a Greco-Roman word for spirit, essentially.
You know,
Now,
go
sorry,
ahead.
there were two types of daemons. Well, there was a bunch, but there were two classifications, as far as I know. That there's an agatho daemon, which is considered the good spirits, and then cacodemons, which are bad spirits, essentially. Uh, the thing is that the way they understood good and evil is more so whether it was productive or not, like more discordant, more chaotic, things that are more destructive, not necessarily like moralistic evil sort of thing, right? Not that they didn't fall within the moral kind of spectrum, but it usually just referred to what they did rather than how they acted or what they did to piss people off or not piss people off. So
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of ATRs or African-based traditions or systems, people have a negative outlook on what they think that is. And until I met you, I really didn't have the proper outlook. I grew up in Catholicism, and demons represented in the church were always seen as negative or evil. And it wasn't until I met you and I started researching and educating myself a little bit. I was like, oh, you can use them to help you get a job. You can use them to help you with your health. You can use them to help you with your relationship. So it had to change. I had to change my perspective of what they were based on what I had learned, which I think is what a lot of people are taught, especially if you come from um a biblical aspect, because they're always portrayed negatively.
well, yeah, then that's why I will always kind of go back to this adage. When it's not me that said it, but it's more like his name's Rufus Opus. He does a lot of this, I guess, a modern take on ceremony magic, but he does tote on saying that cosmology will kind of dictate how your magic will work and how you understand the world. So depending on how what worldview or what religious or metaphysical worldview that you picked up over the years is how you're going to understand how your magic will function, essentially. So because cosmology is very important, because even in, like, the ATRs and ADRs, um, how we interact and work with spirit also kind of dictates from the kind of the stories that they told in the past, right? And there's like how they venerate, how they offer, how they and how they work, and how to appease all of that. There is a cosmology behind it, even though it's not as explicit. You have to go look a little bit past the religion, more into like the historical stuff, the religious stuff that has been kind of like studied over time through scholars and stuff like that. And it's like you go down a rabbit hole. But as far as I understood that in Africa, or the African religions and African traditions, there's not really, it's not the worldview is not as antagonistic, right?
Right.
A lot of the times, was told to me by one Ungan, that some in a lot of the African religions, God and devil are the same person. So
That's true.
um, but and the spirits underneath that particular being also reflect that too. So I mean, again, cosmology kind of dictates how you understand the world at large and how your magic is run, essentially. We're
Absolutely
talking
true.
about it. But yeah, again, what you learn through the institutions is going to kind of like change your perception on how you view things, and in this case, demons. So
Absolutely true. Lashonda, actually, in some literature, we're born with an angel and a demon. Um, so it's interesting because you can actually trace back and see what demon is with you at your time of birth. What was we had a book. Did it come with the cards? I know you know this. You know how to calculate.
oh yeah, no, no. What it's referring to is it's from Agrippa's system. You are able to calculate your essentially your good demon and bad demon, and they more or less act as what you would consider the shoulder angel and shoulder demon. and one tempts, the other one tries to put straight. But it's actually much more complicated than that, and it's far more extensive into in I'm trying not to really specifically be as simple, but essentially that's how it was looked at. But that too has evolved over time as well. So
Absolutely. Lena, we talked about it, the Heaven and the Hell deck, because Lena was the one that turned me on to this. I think when we first started talking to Marcus, I can't remember if Marcus had the deck first and then Lena got it and then I got it. Lena
I
got
think it
it.
was Shishi pointed it to us.
Was it Shishi?
Yeah, I think it was Shishi that
Oh,
pointed
you
it.
know what? You're right. It was. It was Shishi. Because she was looking at Kickstarters and things like that, and she brought it up. In fact, I got a couple of different decks because of because she referred to it. And I think you could get the system where you had the whole book and everything that went with it, which I think is what Lena got. Did you get the whole thing, Marcus, with the book and the cards?
No, you sent the PDF to me
Right.
because I only got the card. I think I was late that I only got the cards. I didn't get the book.
Right. I
But
remember.
I know where these particular spirits, the systems that they come out of. So yeah, I wasn't too worried.
Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and do a few readings and then we're going to ask a question because I put down some questions that I wanted to ask Marcus. Lashonda was like, how do we find out who our demon is? Let's ask that question real quick because you did bring that up.
Well, I mean, it depends on again which system that you're trying to go for. Are you looking for like a patron? So then that would kind of be more towards LHP stuff, or again demonolatry, where you can choose a patron or patroness, or have them come to you. That's one method. The other one is the Agrippa's calculation of the good angel and good demon, or bad demon. That's another one that you can do. But again, I would warn you that do this by yourself or do it with someone that you trust. So because these particular spirits act as head spirits, so if someone were to learn the name, they could actually summon them themselves and have them work for them or work against you or something. So be careful.
Hey, okay. Let's get into some questions real quick. Jasmine, Mambo, do you see that someone is working against my finances or is it me? Let's see. Jasmine. Okay, so right off the bat, it looks like that somebody is working against your finances. Now, we got two different issues. Definitely is showing, and the Heaven and Hell deck has angels at the top, demons at the bottom. And I'm trying to see because we have Orius.
Oh, Aureus or Aurea.
Orius.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I knew Marcus was he's gonna trust me, y'all. He's gonna correct me through this whole thing with the names, but Orus,
Aureas or Aurea.
Orias
Yeah.
is about death and destruction. Now, is that typically the energy that connects with that particular demon?
Not in the original format from the Ars Goetia. Aureas is actually one of the bigger divinatory spirits.
Mm.
But his specialty though is specifically like astrology. He could actually teach you deeper methods or teach you about the stars and shit like that. But not just about the divinatory properties of astrology, but also the magical property of astrology too. So
Interesting,
like
because
do
go
you
ahead.
remember how I kind of taught you about the planetary time and stuff
Mhm.
like that? Well, he goes into like a kind of a deep dive about how to use elections and different phases of the moon and choosing the right time and place for the planets of any if you subscribe to astrological magic. But he's also an alchemical spirit too. He's one of the ones that can change things. The idea of transforming lead to gold, something that is gross to something refined. He's one of those types of spirits as well. changing attitudes, changing situations, stuff like that.
So it's interesting you said all that, because right off the bat from the reading, I got one. Yes, there is opposition on top of your money. Something or someone is definitely causing opposition. But I kind of felt like Spirit was telling you to pay attention also to your spending, pay attention to where your money is going. Typically, magic hits the weakest link. If you're already having issues with your money, it's easy for somebody who's doing work to go after your money because it's the weakest link. Now, it is showing cowardly action, which means that somebody is in the background. They could be trying to cause problems for you. I feel like it's a female. I feel like it has something to do with a man. So I don't think it's necessarily all about money, because I feel like there's an energy of somebody that you worked with that doesn't care for you. And I don't even know if you still have that job, but you got a couple of different energies against you that people just don't like, or they don't like you. It is showing that there is going to be healing on top of your finances, which kind of comes back to Marcus saying that possibly the whole point of this particular spirit showing up is because they're about to do a transformation with your finances. So if you're having problems, it's kind of like look a little bit deeper, and then you'll see places where you need to tighten up, one, your spiritual stuff, and also your financial stuff.
For this person who, if you want to know the culprit, oh, if you want to know a good direction to look at a culprit, it's the one who's hidden their hands after throwing shit before. If they are on your mind already, then they're probably the most likely suspect. But if I were to recommend something, Orias is definitely a person to help, or an entity that can help transform things
And he said,
from bad to good.
and
So
he said he wants to. So it could be definitely, yeah, something that's going to transform. All right, Marcus, you gonna pick somebody?
oh, me.
Or do you don't even need to
Wait,
shuffle, do you?
who was the lady that you read for? I don't remember.
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
Cartel.
Brooklyn. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I'm. Okay. I'll try Belladonna here. Any spirit messages for me? There's a blessing coming in that you've been waiting for, that it's about to arrive. Just make sure you don't say anything to anyone until you get it, because there are some who may find it, may find your achievement or whatever the blessing is. Uh, they don't think you may be worthy of it, and thus incite maybe jealousy or envy towards you. So don't trumpet your business until you're ready to trumpet your business.
All right. Let's see. Let's do Alyssa. Okay, so it's interesting because I don't know this angel. Raquel?
Raquel. Is it one of the 72, right?
Yes, one of the 72.
Raquel. Which one's that one? Can you? I don't usually work with the Shamhamafresh, so.
It's interesting because I've seen the name before, but I don't know it. But it's about restitution, about something coming back, getting paid, or getting something that comes back. Now, we do have the demon Gusion.
Gusion.
Oh, I got that one right. Gusion is saying that there is something that is coming to you, but there's going to be jealousy. So it looks like that you have something restitution, something coming back. You did something for somebody. You're being blessed with something that is going to be coming back to you. And it looks like monetary. Like if you gave money away, it looks like money is going to be coming back in. The thing with that, though, is showing that you still have some energy of jealousy around you. Now we have Akael, which is an angel, and that energy is showing to be patient, which means that you have something coming your way. and you're going to have to be patient, but you are going to be repaid for your good deeds. Say you were blessing people last month, you're going to be blessed. I do get, though, watch your circle, because somebody is looking at your blessing and they're going to be jealous about it. So move in silence. Move in silence. If you do get blessed, if somebody sends you some money, don't tell everybody. You don't have to share that with everybody. Do whatever you need to do with it. Which one, who are you using to divine? Because I know that you're listening to a particular spirit. Who are you using this evening to divine? Is it Bailil?
No, pretty much the entire roster is here as an invite. So I mean, they're
So
here
we got all 72?
probably more, but yeah.
All right. I'm impressed.
I mean, they're always present, so it's not like
That
they're
is
not
true.
very far. So, hmm, let's see here. What? Oh, let's see. Mr. Maurice Evans Jones, what is coming towards me in general? From my perspective, at least, from what I'm seeing, there might be a storm ahead, metaphorically speaking. I'm not sure if you've been in an altercation, or not necessarily physical, but definitely a verbal one recently in the past few months. But there might be trouble headed your way that might hit you sideways that you might not expect. If you are expecting this, they're asking if you are prepared for a confrontation. Um, there might be something towards a legal issue, um, or something adjacent to a legal issue. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here because I don't know law that well. But definitely something that may involve a lawyer, not necessarily something serious. No, we're not talking about like a criminal lawyer, but something like a small civil case. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the bigger ones. It's one of the more the local kind of like
Right. Like
yeah.
you say,
So,
maybe some type of civil case or something like that, something that is on the smaller end of
mm,
the legalities.
yeah. So it's a difference between having money and not having money in the end. So that's kind of not necessarily that they'll clean you out, but you'll definitely be out of it. So
They're gonna clean them out like they're gonna
no,
take
no,
all
no,
the
no.
money.
I'm not saying that they're going to clean them out. I'm just saying it's a matter between if you needed that money or not. So like it's better to
Okay.
have money than not have money, sort of thing.
Look, I was about to have a fit for them. I was like, they're gonna clean them out.
No, no,
What?
no.
Let's
No,
clarify.
it's not like they're going to clean them out or anything. It's just you know it's a matter of are you able to live without that money, essentially. That's kind of like the impression of what they're giving me. So yeah.
Good. Bonsoir, bonsoir, family. Hey, Marsha. Hey, Ashley. Let's see, Lena, Regina. Who's that? Kaya's mama. Let's see. All right. So let me see. Derek. Messages for you. So the first thing that I got was Laiel, which is an angel, and this was kind of like a desire to know, is what I'm getting in the description. I haven't heard of this angel before either. Of course, I don't know all the angels,
Oh,
but
so just a side stint. So these particular angels that the person used in these divinatory cards come from, they're the 72 angels of the Shem HaMephoresh. And essentially,
Shahamatra.
Shem HaMephoresh.
Ah,
Yeah. So these 72 angels are derived from essentially derived from the 72 fold name of God. So you have like the fourfold name, then you have like I believe there's like the sevenfold name. This one's the 72 fold name. So the thing is in like the way how in Jewish, I don't say mythology, but the Jewish religion, there's different variations of the name of God. The biggest name of God is essentially the Torah. So that entire thing
absolutely.
is the name of God. Like after like I think it's 144, and then the name of God is the actual Torah. But
So
this
these
is the
angels
seven.
are represented in that.
Well, in a particular passage, the variations of how the letters are arranged, and then you add kind of like the AIH or the A or EL that gives it that and the angelic form. So it goes from like a god name to an angelic form. Essentially, these 72 angels are kind of um, what they have like they're similar to how the 72 like goetics are. They have very form and the varied form and function, um, but uh, but it's more towards, I guess, self improvement usually. What their usual functions are. Not necessarily. Some of them have external functions, like they can change the world around you, but it's more so towards like yourself, right?
I'm wondering if he used this deck because they do represent some form of self-improvement, right? So if you're reading this, the deck is giving you some type of guidance or information on how to move forward with the message.
More or less, yeah. I mean, it could be used that way because this deck is oracular, right? So it's usually tapping into the spirit and that particular spirit's energy, and then whatever it is that what the remedy or problem might be, right?
That's
So
interesting. I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into this because, of course, I haven't read with this deck in years. Like I got it because I love the artwork and everything on it. And I loved how they put the angels and the demons one on one side. You can read it either way. Um, but the message is always read true to me. But it's kind of like if you're working with these particular spirits and you don't know. And I think that's why I kind of pulled back from the deck because it was like, oh, I'm gonna need to research because somebody presenting this on a deck doesn't mean that this is what this particular spirit really does. Just
mhm.
like how you corrected with the demon, you were like, well, yeah, they could do this, but and then too, like you said, on it depends on the system too that you're using them at. So would the message change if you switch the system?
I mean, it probably would because you're looking at different energies, different forces, and then different aspects too, right? So
Okay.
but usually when it comes to angels, they're very well, they're not as fluid in terms of their functions from system to system.
Mm-hmm.
Demons definitely have that kind of fluidity. So
Okay. Yeah, because I would think the morality of the angel would kind of put them in a box
in a
where
sense,
maybe the demons don't have that.
yeah, in a sense, right? Because it depends on which religion you're taking it from, right? A lot of the angelic or angelology that comes with the depending on the religion, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times they say that angels don't have free will, right?
Mm,
They're just instruments of the greater power, right?
right. They do what they're
Um,
told.
and essentially their existence embodies their purpose in the world and the mission that's given to them by the creator, essentially. So whatever it is that they're made to do, they fill that form and function in that particular order. It's a very orderly system. That's why there's lots of hierarchies in it, and that's why, you know, if you like that type of structure, go for it. But I there's a time and place for it, in my opinion. So
I love the way you put that in. If you like that type of structure. So let's get back to you, Derek. The message is basically you got a few cards that kept saying something about education, learning something. There may be some hurdles with that because I kind of get we have an angel of alchemy and transformation, which means that you may be creating something through your education, or you will be connecting with something through your education. So I think that there may be this thing of, I want to go back to school, I want to learn something, whatever it is. Spirit is like, you probably are going to have to push through. It is showing that there is monetary value that comes out of education for you, but it's like, be patient. So there may be something where it's like, I'm hitting this wall, like when you take in a class and it's like, I'm struggling with this class, or I'm struggling with this. Spirit is like, keep pushing because you're actually going to get through, and there's money on the other side of it. um I am also getting some type of spiritual growth that's coming in for you. So I feel like that sometime this year, and you may already be in this cycle of opening up more to your spirituality, wanting to learn more about your spirituality. You might be coming away from this where it's like, I want to research or look more into this particular topic or something else that is going to open you up a little bit more, because it looks like in 2025, there's this big need to connect with your spirit or your higher power. So something happens this year that makes you want to look above and beyond the physical. I don't know, but it is going to be good. It looks like it's going to be something that gives you clarity.
Where is she? Nico
Oh,
Roberts.
Lena say angels can be real dicks too.
Depends on the angel, but yes,
It depends on the angel.
I know for like the longest time I had a tenuous relationship with one of the archangels, only because, yeah, I know, right?
I remember.
But we've settled our differences. We're good. So
I love how you put it out there.
I may call him the illustrious pigeon from time to time, but that's just us. So
all right, who you choosing?
Oh, I was gonna answer Nico Roberts. Is D really into me? So this one comes from a particular spirit, a message maybe a little bit more cryptic than usual, but D has many faces and many masks, more than two hands, more than 2 feet. Don't fall for pretty words. If you want to test his sincerity, go for it. Only if you want to know the truth.
Man, that was straight to the point. Oh, Aqua Moon wants to know, are there any messages from Hecate? I don't read her. I have never even, so I know you. I know that you have a very close relationship with her and that you do work with her.
I have a working relationship. I wouldn't say it's a very close relationship, but definitely we are on terms.
Okay, so Aqua Moon, Marcus, if he's led to that, he'd be the one to answer, because I've never worked with her. Let's see. Let me try to go back up.
Actually, Aquamoon, when it comes to deities, especially with Hecate, it would be better that you asked her than someone else. Only because that a lot of the times the message won't have that bias, and it won't have that I guess human interpretation that it's more direct if you actually talk to divinity, and it's more meaningful when you do, especially with a goddess like Hecate or Hecate. It's more meaningful if you hear the message yourself from her.
What is the proper pronunciation of her name? Is it Hecate or Hecate? Does it? Because I've seen both. I've seen people say both.
Both are valid because of where your language lies, sort of thing. It's kind of like electrocardiogram, how you spell ECG versus EKG. It's like that. So
okay, gotcha. All right, let's see. Well, you go ahead. You still have to choose somebody, or is it me?
No, it's your turn.
It's me. Okay, I don't got confused. So, Love Jones, am I going to get off the wait list for my nursing program? Interesting enough, it shows that you have a divine power that is pushing you forward. So it looks like that there is going to be some type of opening that comes in for you. Now, the thing about it that I'm picking up is because it's showing that you're supposed to go into medicine. They've been waiting for you. So it's a real interesting energy, because I feel like spirit has been pushing you. Like, let's go ahead and get this program. Let's get into this program. So I think that they are maneuvering things to give you this opening. So you are going to get off the wait list. And I feel like that there's going to be some type of fairness to this only. And I'm saying this because I think that somebody is kind of manipulating the list. And I'm not sure how they're doing it. So it could be that this is people that know people that know people, and it's like, okay, put me on a list or move me up off it's something with somebody that is using their position. Justice is coming to that, which means that one, this person may get seen for what they're doing, which may, I don't want to say get them fired, but it might move them out the way. And then the people that were getting some type of help from this person may not be able to get that help. And I feel like you are going to be moved up, maybe because of justice. So yeah, you are going to get off the wait list.
Oh, did you have a question you wanted to ask me, Auntie?
Okay, so I was looking at a TikTok. I have a few questions. Let's tackle the race one. Now, I don't know if you saw last week where I was talking about the Deliverance, the movie, and I was laughing my ass off because the demon called a woman the N word, and I was like, okay, can you do that, demon? I was highly offended with that. Can you talk to her like that? And then the other day, I was looking at a TikTok where this woman was saying that a demon was attacking her strictly because she was a black female. Now, I've never thought about spirit looking at race as an attack. Could somebody ask a spirit to attack somebody based on race? I'm sure. What are your thoughts about a demon looking at a situation like that where race is involved? Because I'm curious.
Okay. I'll take it from two perspectives. One, if you believe that demons are an antagonistic force. If you believe that demons are an antagonistic force and they embody all the evil in the world, then yes, one of them will step up and do it. And will call you the N word or whatever, right? If you believe that way. If you see in a less antagonistic view, less dichotomous view of good and evil, demons don't really necessarily care for humanity at large per se. Only those that work with them, essentially. If you look at it more from a less human centric point of view, you have to understand some of these spirits are really fucking old, and they don't fucking care. They probably think humans are just as significant as we are to ants. So, I mean,
That's what I thought too. I was like, why would they even care or register like that? But in the spirit world, I believe anything goes. I believe that it could happen, and I believe that you could send a demon out to attack somebody because you are a racist person,
yeah, true,
and
right?
that's why you're doing it. Demon is following orders, right? Or it's following where it's led,
Or doing what it's asked, or doing
or
what it's
doing what
trying
it's
to do,
asked.
right?
Exactly.
Depending
But
on
I'm telling you right now, if I was in my room and a demon walked in and called me the N word, we got a problem. We got a problem. Like, why would you come at me like that? But I can honestly see where people could pick that up at. If somebody was, working with them and sending them out and saying, I want you to attack this person because they are black, or I want you to attack this person because they are white. They're following what they were told to do.
I mean, even then, I don't think it would even register on an emotional level or any kind of level at all. It's just okay. Well, this guy wants to attack this guy for whatever reason.
Because really, do they have emotions? I mean, when we look at, because I don't even believe angels
It,
have
it
emotions.
it depends. A lot of people put, especially the modern take, there's anthropomorphic projection
Hmm.
on these things. But I mean, like, I don't know, can you put human characteristics on a very long-lived spirit? Can you, especially if they're like a very encompassing spirit? So I'll take this for an example. I'll take this from an example of an angel. Remember that thing that I posted on Facebook about? I think it was from the excerpt from the Apocalypse of Moses. It was the description of Samael when I forgot who took Moses up to heaven and he saw the actual archangel of death,
I
right?
remember that.
So again, this was not like a very anthropomorphic view of an angel. The thing was described as being 300 years tall, a body full of flame, and eyes that looked upon every single living being on the earth, and that would kind of include bacteria. So this thing was full of eyes, and it was going to reap some poor old soul. And it's like, dude, don't let this thing come to me. It's like you'll meet it someday, but does that thing have like that was the archangel Samael, by the way. So like that particular description, people do put like human qualities on archangels, but you have to understand that's not their true form. That's not what they usually
Yeah.
tote around. That's how humans have popularized them. And if they do take human form, that's for us to understand them. right? It's
Yeah.
not for anything else.
For us, like you said, we're putting the face on it, not, it's manifesting the way that we want to see it.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, we were kind of discussing about angels and demons, and like the descriptions of from Islam and how they describe angels. They're the size of the horizon. Like the big ones, they're the size of the horizon. So you look out over a mountain, you see the horizon. That's the size of one angel or one of the bigger angels. So it's like we're not talking about small spirits here.
Wow. I never even heard that the size of a horizon. I mean, no, I have not heard that. And I wouldn't even think to even put them in that perspective, though. I've
Well,
always thought that they were big, but that is,
Well, you have to understand too that, if you read some of these descriptions in the grimoires themselves, right? There are more human qualities and appearances of the demons, and that's something far more understandable than what biblically accurate angels are.
oh my God, yeah. Because
Yeah, those things are
biblically,
fucking
angel,
terrifying.
yeah. Because when you look at the biblical description and they say that the angel has 500 eyes looking in all directions, seeing something like that come at you at night is like, no, no. And I remember Brandy painted a painting a couple of years ago. It came to her in a dream, and it was literally a cornstalk with eyes, like hundreds of eyes all over it. And I was like, I think you were drawing an angel. I think you dreamt of an angel. And that was your vision of it. She saw it in a true form, like you said, versus the form that we want to see. Even with a demon, I have an idea of how I want my demon to look if it was to manifest in front of me. And it has more human features, of course, than anything else, because I don't want to see it looking like anything else. I want to see it looking the way I wanted to see it,
But
manifesting
you
it.
have to understand that angels and demons will fall under the manifestation of one's understanding as well. So
Right.
if you're not equipped to handle eldritch forms, you're probably not going to be seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last thing you want to do is go bibbity. So,
Yeah. No, not what I want to see at all. Not. All right. Pick your question.
let's see. Victoria, is there anyone or anything blocking relationships from happening in my life? Tired of the time wasters? Um, I would have to say yes, but my solution would probably be a solar working to kind of like burn away and banish anything that would be around you that's useless. Um, Archangel Michael's considered one of Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael, depending on which system that you're using, are the archangels of the sun. Uh, Either one could reveal and eventually banish um, those, I guess, unwanted influences in your life. Definitely a 7 day working, 7 day endeavor. And after you can do a Saturnian working to not bring those forces back. So, um, Archangel Castiel, Zapkiel, either or is fine. But yeah, definitely more so working than rather than a message would probably be your better bet. But if you're asking the question, the influence is there and it's very obvious. So working is the more prudent action rather than asking.
And you guys, if you need more information, please feel free to reach out to Marcus on his page, the Friendly Neighborhood Necromancer. You can book a reading and maybe he can give you more insight. Because I know it's kind of hard to go into something for like 2 minutes and get an idea of what needs to work or what needs to be done. So hit him up, reach out to him. Let's see, AB, spirit messages. Okay, so the first thing that I got is education is bringing in success for you, and it looks like that there's divine blessings that are coming in for you, like following a path, researching things, studying things. The thing though, I feel like you're gonna have some friendships that are about to drop off because I'm getting traitors in the midst, like a Judas in the camp. um it looks like that you may be cutting ties with some people this year because they're not supposed to be going with you into the new year. And it may already be happening. And spirit is just kind of like, watch your back. Traitors and betrayal typically to me come from people that, betrayal comes to people that you're close with, because I don't think that a lot of people would feel it any other way, that I was betrayed, if it wasn't somebody that you knew or somebody that was close to you, because you wouldn't even worry about it. There's a lot of people that talk about me. I don't know them. I don't hear the conversations. I don't care. The people that would be closer to me, where it got back to me, would hurt me. So I think what Spirit is saying is that there may be some friendships that are going to end because you have a Judas in the mix, or somebody that is not really moving forward with you, and it's because they're not supposed to.
Jazzy up. You've essentially built a good foundation for your business. It's time to widen your vision and look further, and start to take in what you would consider the legacy you want to leave behind. Um, for the first step, I would probably say maybe not. What do you think? I hear collaboration, but it's not just any kind of collaboration, but people who are well known in your sphere of influence, especially collaboration with people in the direction you envision yourself going. And this is where that fall back to legacy kinds, the question of legacy comes in, of what you want to leave behind. So if you want to know where you're going, look further, and then take the necessary steps towards that final destination, essentially.
Okay. Jessica Love is asking, is there an angel of sickness? I know there's a spirit of sickness. Is there an
Um,
angel?
well, are you asking about healing or inflicting?
Mm.
If we're
Or
talking
is there
about
a
if we're talking about healing, well, there's a couple. Michael and Raphael, the very well known archangels, can heal. Um, Actually, pretty much all of them can, but some more effective than others, depending on the kind of sickness that one has, and what sphere of influence that they fall under. Um, if you're talking about inflicting angels, then no, look no further than either the Saturnian or Martian angels, especially Samael. Considering that Samael's name translates into the venom or poison of God, then yes, look no further. Um, Again, it's choose your poison. Slow, fast, slow being Saturn, faster being Mars. But still, those particular ones also have that influence too. Just remember that angels have their own agenda and follow a particular agenda. So it may the particular manifestations that you want, might not fall within their vision. So just so you know.
Yeah. Somebody else say, I might do something for you, but I ain't going that far. Or he might take it further, right?
Well, I mean, if you want a demon of sickness, Marbus. He's the one. He's a specialist of curing and inflicting diseases.
Mm.
Believe he's number 5 in the Ars Goetia, but definitely an easier one to go to ask.
And what's his name again?
Marbus. I
Marvis?
believe it's Marbus. I believe it's Marbus because I go to him from time to time too. So
Oh, okay. Now, a quick question: are demons always male?
in the original grimoires, they are always presented male. In the modern take, they have masculine, feminine forms.
Mm. So kind of like angels in that take, because I always see angels
Kind
as
of, yeah.
androgynous
Well, yeah, because again, more
from
myths
our
about angels.
manifestation.
Yeah, but you have to understand, spirit by nature, they're genderless, right? They can appear however they goddamn want. When we speak of masculine and feminine energy, it's more about the action
Mm,
and the
gotcha.
essence of the particular entity, right? So
Okay. All right. So let's see. Nicole Morgan, will my surgery come to fruition and will it be successful? So yeah, you are going to have surgery. Spirit is telling you to research, though. Take your time and research, because it looks like that you are going to have surgery. The recovery is going to be a little bit, maybe more than what you anticipate. And I think because you're used to doing a lot of things and you're busy and you're moving around and you look, it feels like you have the weight on the world on your shoulder. That may affect your recovery with surgery. So yeah, surgery is coming in. Definitely research the doctor, make sure that you're getting the right one for you. And it may take a little time. I don't know if you've already found the doctor, but I still feel like that you need to research a little bit more. Healing is definitely going to be a little bit slower, but I think that's going to be more on you, where you could be pushing harder than what you need to kind of do whatever it is to get better faster. And I don't think that in this situation, it looks like that your age is working against you. Like some people, and I don't know how old you are, but it's like some people heal faster. Could be conditioning of the body, could be age. It could be, the recovery that you have planned. Are you going to have a nurse? Are you going to have somebody taking care of you? Because I feel like that you got a lot of stuff in the background that may be pulling on your energy. Will it be successful? It shows yes, but you're going to have to take your time and really allow yourself to recover the way you need to. If you rush it, you're going to have a hard time.
Nicole Williams, will I get a breakthrough this year? Anything my ancestors want me to know right now? This one doesn't come from an ancestor, but definitely you are already before the door of a breakthrough. All you're missing is a key. This key is not easily found and not easily earned. I'm not sure if you need to, I guess, put more focus into the either goal setting or pursuing the goals that will lead you to the necessary steps to that breakthrough that you need. I'm hearing a little bit more education, a little bit more skill development um, in whatever sphere that you're looking at of pursuing. But it's there when you've put in uh, the when you put it in. Well, I mean, that's not saying that you didn't put in the time, but there's a level of knowing and skill and I guess a kind of wisdom before that key decides to show itself. So um, just don't stop looking, but don't stop working, because that's the pathway to finding that particular key.
Okay, so next question. We
Oh, sorry.
always
Sorry, do you mind? Nicole Morgan, I'm kind of parroting what everyone else is saying, so it's not really me. So
So wait a minute, how many was it, one demon that was talking to you, or were you getting multiple
I don't
messages?
know. It's only one voice, but they're around. So I mean, well, whoever's talking, right?
Yeah, because you did your head like this for a minute, and I was like, okay, is he catching like a lot? So everybody else is in the background.
Well, they come forward when they need to, or when I ask them to. So
I like that smirk. Okay, so the next question. We have heard this before. I hear about it a lot, especially in readings, where I have women come to me and tell me that the demons are having their way with them when they are asleep, um, which I guess would be more like spiritual rape. You
oh,
don't hear.
this is your question. Sorry.
No, it's yeah, it's for you. My question for you. So, have you encountered this before? That
Well, mythologically speaking, if you've read the tales, yes, there are demons which are classified as sex demons, which are typically known as succubi and incubi. They, depending on which mythology you're looking for, especially the ones that coming from Jewish mythology, they're the ones that kind of drain humans of their sexual fluids through, I guess, dreams, sex, or whatever, possession, to steal their energy, steal their soul, if you believe in that thing, and essentially, like, kind of like harm humans that way. Um, I'm I'm particularly sure that sex demons are a theme or a universal theme in many religions and many traditions, I would think. um, but I've only ever come across them as through the Western lens.
It's interesting because a lot of people, of course, this is coming from a religious standpoint, that say like porn or masturbation invites these spirits into your energy. Um, I do feel like that there can be spirits that definitely gravitate towards certain energies that we do. And I think that's with anything. I think it could be with drugs and addiction. Are there spirits that love that energy, that gravitate towards it? Food,
Oh,
people that overeat and things
sure.
like that.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't want to keep saying demons, but if you're in an antagonistic worldview, then yes, then there's a demon for that.
That could be
But if you're
attracted to maybe
not,
a vice.
well, yeah, they're attracted by anything that anyone does, right? Creates a certain kind of essence or energy, no matter what it is, right? It leaves in if you believe that energy can leave a footprint in some place, or like very strong energy, like a haunting, or like a haunted place, or a place that seems to be met with unluckiness, right? That usually is kind of like a nexus for more negative entities to kind of pile in. Um, and that's not necessarily a demon. That's usually like a dead or a more earthbound type spirit, right? It's I would say I would put it like maybe either half or three quarters of the time it's usually like an unevolved dead thing. So that's usually the case. But it
So
doesn't
these
mean that someone can't summon a demon, send it out, that sort of thing. Again, demons popping in and out. Well, the kind of demons that I kind of interact, well, the kind of demons I interact with, their appearances are rare by themselves, and usually when people call them. So some of them are ever present in the world, some of them are not. So it depends on which demon we're talking about here, and what classification of demon. So, but again, something like that I would put to a dead thing, not an actual like demon, not usually.
so what is the difference between a demon and the dead?
Well, technically, a demon was never human to begin with. Dead things are usually shells of like former things that were alive, right? Usually humans. Um, so uh, demons, depending on the mythology, if they were fallen angels, right? They used to be a celestial creature that got corrupted and fell and into the material world and kind of like are trapped here with us. So another mythology is that um, these were inhuman things that came from previous creations that are more eldritch horror than divine being, right? Um, and if the more Eastern way of looking at it was every person that's living now was a demon at one point, but we reincarnated out of that, right? So if you know anything about like reincarnation in Buddhism, samsara, the six paths of reincarnation.
Yeah.
One of them is the Naraka path or hell path. You
Hmm.
reincarnate there if you've done bad things with your bad karma, and you're a demon there. And then once you've you know waited out your time, you go to a different one.
Interesting. Interesting.
But,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I mean, but usually if you're talking about a demon or a dead, it's usually demons usually are a bigger type of spirit. They're not human or never were human to begin with. Um, some some people say that they were once pagan gods that were demonized by the church, right? That's another one
I could
that
see that. I could
people talk
definitely
about.
see that. Yeah.
But the thing is, if people would serve them as demons, then would you not rather just serve them as deities, not demons? If that were the case, that's my take on it. So
I think most people would prefer to serve them as deities. Not everybody, though, but most people would, because I think it would make them feel more comfortable that way. But of course, like you said, you have certain traditions and religions that are going to paint a negative picture of what that is. It's easy to,
Well, yeah, it's there's this one quote that I've seen float around. It's like one religion's gods are another religion's demons.
yeah.
So
And it's so true. It's so true. I can't even express how many times people would be like, voodoo is demonic. It's demonic, it's demonic, it's demonic. And I'm like, it's not. But you can't explain it to people if that's their perception. And unfortunately, for some people, it makes sense to them to label it that way because they see it as evil. They don't want to see
well, I
it the other
mean
way.
that's kind of how like the Abrahamic religions kind of tend to view other religions,
Yeah.
that have no other gods before me,
Yeah.
right? Everything that any other spirit aside from like an angel or god or whatever is a demon.
Yeah.
It's a very
Absolutely.
simplistic, and it's a very simplistic view of the world, and it works for some people and others not so much.
Well,
So
I think it's simplistic, and like you said, it works for a lot of people because it they don't have to think too deep about it. It is what it is, you know?
right.
Other things like that, you have to research, you have to learn, you have to kind of dive a little bit deeper, and a lot of people don't want to. And I mean, I definitely respect it.
On
I
top
think
of that, they have to kind of unlearn everything what an institution has taught them.
it's
So
true. It's
um,
true. I think for a lot of people, they don't want to do that, you know?
I
Well,
mean, why would they?
we have to be honest that it challenges your way of thinking to know that something else exists that may be different than what you were brought up on. And now you have to kind of open. I think that's what happens with a lot of people when they get these big awakenings and things like that start to happen. And you're like, okay, I'm in the library and I found this book, and now I'm seeing things and reading things in a completely that are alien to me, or things that have been erased, because that's what we do a lot of times, right? We erase things because we don't want people to look any deeper. It is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
It can get complicated though, because we got a lot of people now that are out here looking at everything, trying everything, and maybe still not walking the right path,
Mm-hmm.
trying to find themselves. All right, so let me answer a question, Lena. Um, the first thing that I get is, and you're moving away from this energy, and this is like making a lot of mistakes. Amadeus is on top of this.
Asmodeus or Asmodee.
I always, and I knew I was going to get it wrong because when you say it, I'm like, I never say it the same way. What is his particular strength? Because in this card, it's like he's representing making mistakes or things that are not going the way that they should. How does he translate from your perspective? From
What,
your,
from Asmodee?
yes.
Oh yeah, he's one of the nine kings of the Ars Goetia. He's actually considered like the king of all of them.
Oh.
And he's actually he's one of the big initiators in the system. He is actually asked to call for improving one's skills, no matter where it may be, to a degree of mastery one has never attained. Um, Depending on how much more of the myth, because he actually has a big corpus of the myth that's attached to him. So he can be a love or lust spirit, for one. He can also be a wrathful, very vengeful kind of spirit too, which he's not is not actually presented that way in the Ars Goetia, but he's presented in others.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, he's a very multifaceted spirit. He's actually one of my favorite go-tos. Uh, but he's also, depending on your character, he could either be really fun or really serious. So, but I mean, if you want to improve your shit mastery to different levels or gaining even greater levels, that's one of the go-tos. So,
And I think that's kind of what the message is. The message is making mistakes or moving away from that energy and mastering something so that you don't have to keep repeating the mistake, or you don't have to keep repeating some type of cycle. There's a breaking of a cycle that's coming in for you, and it's because spirit has been knocking on your head. for a while. Like, come on, let's get it. Let's get it. You keep going around in circles. You keep making the same mistakes. Some of this is definitely on top of money. Some of it is physical. Looks like that there may be some issues coming in with your health or your body where spirit is like, don't eat this anymore. Don't put this in your body. Stop doing this or you're going to have a problem. And they've been kind of knocking at your head. So I think that spirit is like, okay, you need to kind of break cycles with one, energies that are not serving you. So this could be spending too much money, eating the wrong type of foods. I am seeing that you're a very strong person. Divine warrior is on top of you, and that's Hiel, the angel. And I know I had this angel before. I always choose this angel. But Divine Warrior is on top of this, and it's showing that you are going to get stronger, but you're going to have to take an active approach to restructuring some things in your life that you're doing that may cause you to kind of keep going around and around in circles. And Spirit is like you're about to get a tap on the head. I also see too, there's an issue that may be coming in with owing some type of money or some type of legal situation that you're going to have to deal with. So you might end up having to, this might be a money lesson. You might end up having to pay some money out so that you don't repeat the same mistake with something with finances.
This is not a reading question, but the chosen has asked a question. My question is, what is the significance of balancing both light and dark entities, and how do you appease the dark entities without having to do anything that compromises good character or keeping balance?
Oh, that's a good
Again,
question.
um, again, I would have to say, look at the cosmology that you're working from first and foremost, because that will illustrate how the spirits, the aspects and spirits that you're working with, as well as the worldview and also, I guess, your moral compass. When you talk about light and dark, and you have to define to yourself what is light or dark, right? What is good and evil? And you have to have a really good come to Jesus moment where how do you define these things? Is it good for you? Is it good for the world at large or society? Both these questions have to be asked, depending on where you want to be and how you want to work both light and dark, if you want to get all metaphorical. But essentially, what I've found, especially in the horror stories where people go mad, doing this shit, I would have to say what compromises a person is something that they cannot accept about themselves, right?
Mm.
But I will say this to make it a little bit more easier for people to understand: we're all capable of great good and great evil, right? Uh, a pope can be a sinner. A murderer can be a giant. I guess. Sorry, bad metaphor, but even a serial killer can have his merits, or good aspects.
It's
Of,
true. It's true.
you have to understand that humans are not exclusively light and dark. We're human, right? We
Yeah.
are made up of many things, and between our, and I guess, genetics and environment, between the ourselves and what society teaches us and what we accept of ourselves, is how we like define ourselves. I think the biggest one is like that we define ourselves with the choices that we make, about the actions that we take, and in thought, word, deed, and indeed. I mean, that defines us as a person, right? What do we do behind closed doors, right? Do we have a
True.
face? Do we have a public face or a private face, right? But again, the idea of compromising good character, I would say, would be the fundamental thing, is something that you cannot accept about yourself, right? That's where it starts. And then there's
No,
a pressure, and then you find that there's a pressure to conform, right, to whatever it is, that the ideal that you're trying to achieve.
No, that's I mean, honestly, that was a real good explanation because I was talking to somebody the other day and she was like, "Oh, you're such a nice person. You're always saving the cats and loving on the animals and all that stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I care. I'm trying to nurture them." And she was like, "I'm just so in awe of you." And I was like, "Girl, don't be in awe of me." Because I said, if somebody touches my kids, I will kill them. I will kill them. And she just looked at me like, like, how could that come out of you? And like, it's human. It's definitely human. And I think, like you said, we operate on whatever level that we're in at that moment. I've seen some amazing people. I think you are an amazing person. I think you're nice. I think and I think you're cute and everything, but I have seen the darkness in you. So I think I don't feel like you have to sacrifice one for the other though. But I do think that if you push something the wrong way, you're gonna see something in people that and that's anybody. Anybody. You're gonna see something in people that you may not want to see. And I don't even think that's people trying to present a face. I think that certain things can be brought out. You push the right button, you get the right, you know, you get the response that comes with that. So I don't know. That's why I always try to be kind to people because you never know. You never know. Okay, wait a minute. Well, do you want to answer a question?
Oh no, I did answer, but it wasn't a divinatory question. It was answering a question what they asked, like one of the
Okay.
viewers asked. Yeah.
Okay, so let me go to Shakira. Shakira. Um, the first thing that I get is purification, which means spirit is like, drink more water, put more healthier things into your body. Um, because it looks like that there's something coming in with fertility, which I know that you've been working a lot on your fertility, but there may be also some type of allergies or some other things that are going on that spirit is like, let's purge, let's purify, because it's going to help with fertility. I also see too, there may be some big move that's coming in because there's something changing in the environment and it needs to. Now, success is coming in on entrepreneurship, which means that if you really pour energy into a business, you're going to get some positive outcome with it, especially within 2025. But spirit is like, you got to be really serious about what you want and run it like a business.
Oh, sorry, I'm just responding to the chosen. Yeah, like when it comes to the blame the devil energy or blame the devil statement, I think it's more about the a question of accountability, right? They want to blame something else rather than look at themselves, which is what you said. But I mean, dude, it's kind of when I hear that from a person, it's like, what are you, two? Especially from grown people, it's like, are you two? Like, come on.
It's the way they
Oh,
wanna see it.
oh, the devil made me do it. Oh, so and so spirit made you do it. You know, you have something called free will, right? You know, there's something called accountability, right? You know, there's something called responsibility, right?
But I think if you're using it as an excuse, because I've seen people say, "Oh, I was possessed," or "I was mounted," or "I was caught up in the
Oh my God.
moment," because that gives you an out, or
Well, the thing
people think
is,
that.
for people in possessatory religions and traditions, if you faked a possession in front of a priest or priestess that is in the know, they will embarrass the shit out of you.
Oh, definitely.
They will fucking embarrass the shit out of you. And on top of that, that's a others like actual spirit coming down and whacking you over the head for trying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's happened. So and they probably won't even do it publicly.
Well, I think we're living in a society where there's a lack of accountability, and a lot of
Well,
people use religion or spirituality for that.
that's what I mean. And you know what I like about the African diasporic traditions is that there is a degree of accountability that happens, especially when actual spirit comes down and corrects your shit. So
Yeah.
and they'll correct it in whatever epic way possible.
That,
Especially when you become the public story of something that you did. So be
yeah.
warned, these things are quite real.
And you see this across the board. And I think for a lot of people, sometimes it's wanting to be acknowledged or involved in something. But I do agree with Marcus, when you're dealing with very real spirits, there's a correction, whether it's a physical correction or a spiritual correction. There's a correction. There's no need for you to, first of all, somebody don't want to blame Jesus because they cheated. Oh, Jesus made me do it. The
Oh
devil
no,
made you do it, but Jesus made you do it.
no. But on that Jesus note, there are people who whine or complain that, oh, Jesus never gave me anything, or God's will,
True.
right? It's like, well, Jesus is not a wish genie. Are
Yeah.
you reducing him to that, or what? So, I mean, do
I think
whatever,
people
man. It's not my religion, but
I think people miss the real connection of working with these spirits, these entities, or these deities. There are connections that should be taking place. And some people are using them, like you say, as wish genies, because I think that's the way they were raised, you know, unfortunately, until they learn better. Sometimes you learn by running into that brick wall where it's like, okay, maybe I need
well,
to
sometimes that brick
adjust.
wall could be a wall of flame, so be careful.
It could. It could. And I be trying to stay away from them walls of flames. But I mean, you got some people out there that will push it. It just, and that's going to be across the board in religions and any type of spirituality. People are going to push it. And sometimes you push the wrong button and you get corrected. And it's not always nice. Some people are not here to tell the tale, you know?
Sometimes you become the Aesop's table that everyone tells. So
Ugh.
and that's why I have the popcorn here, my lawn chair over here. So,
Ah.
Bree Hoyle, any spirit message on your gifts? There's one particular one that you should be interested in. Is oracular divination through music. It could be like you listening to like a song comes up and it triggers something or a memory or something, like an omen pops up. But definitely, it's the gift of hearing, especially through music.
That happens to me all the time. I heard a song one time, it would play every time I would get in the car, and I was slow. And then finally, something told me to look up the lyrics, and it was exactly what I was going through at the time. And it even gave me the solution on how to get out of it. So it's a very powerful gift. It really
Mhm.
is. A lot of times people don't catch it though.
Oh, I know. Especially where she may put on maybe something classical or something that doesn't have like vocals, and
Hmm.
then she'll be able to hear something. So
That's cool. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. All right, so let's see. Tam do. Dwight is back. Is he sincere? How does Dwight feel about her spirit? How does he feel? So I kind of get that this person is coming back in for forgiveness, but I feel like that he's not being completely honest with you. Codependency to me feels like I want to come back because I need you, or I got something from you, or I dated other people and they weren't giving me the same thing that you gave me type of energy. You are going to have trust issues with this person if you decide to get back with him. And it's because you don't trust him. You don't. And I don't feel like I don't think that he is being completely genuine, and that's where the trust issues are going to come from, because you don't trust them. You don't trust what he's saying, and you're trusting what you feel. Pay attention to your intuition, because spirit is saying that he does want forgiveness. He does want a connection with you, but codependency is like, I do better with you than I do by myself, and that's not love. That's just not, it's not the right intention for somebody to want to come back into a relationship. That's basically like, I don't want to be by myself, and I know that you're going to take me back. So take your time with it. I don't know. Take your time with it.
Bree Hoyle, if you go back a couple of minutes on this live, I answered your question. Let's see, where else is there? I saw someone. Oh, Nancy. Will your coworkers be exposed soon? Yes. If you want to drag them out faster, you can go to Archangel Samael and do a martial working. He'll drag them out by the hair. So it's just a
Ooh.
matter of if you want it sooner or later. That's what he's saying. So
And who's
Andromalius can do it too. But he's the 72nd demon of the Ars Goetia. He can do it too, if you want. But yes, they will be exposed soon. If you want it sooner, you can work spirit. So.
Nicole said that there's a demon she heard about that is 4 letters and the name begins with a Z.
Oh, Zozo? Yeah, that thing. Well, you and I know what Zozo is, so.
I didn't even want to. Why all the time these lives always go back to Dick? What the hell is that?
No, apparently, okay, so I kind of seen this on YouTube where if you're using a Ouija board, if the planchette goes into like an infinity kind of like motion, and then it's going from ZO, the demon Zozo is there. But again, with Ouija boards, you have to kind of be a little picky because sometimes it's not a bigger spirit; it's usually like a lesser spirit that appears. Not to say that you can't use a Ouija board to contact bigger spirits, but this one kind of it's kind of giving small Zozo energy if you're comparing it.
Not you saying Zozo got little dick energy. Oh my God, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know. I think it's a succubus energy or something on these lives. Even when I try not to bring
Dude,
up Dick, Dick
dude,
finds his way
if
into these
Lilith
lives.
dude, if Lilith heard that, she'd probably have a tissy. So I wouldn't want to. Yeah, as I said, little Zozo energy, I wouldn't even bother.
Oh my gosh. I just don't know. I think I need to cleanse more before we go live. Maybe Spirit is like, your ass been celibate too long. We gonna keep talking about dick until you get some. Little Zozo energy. Well, we don't want that. We don't want that. Oh, let me pick a question real quick. Oh my God. I thought we made it. I really thought we made it to the end of the evening. Let me see. I saw somebody on YouTube and I wanted to answer. Okay, Jane, I believe. Jane Lotus. Oh my God, that's too funny. Jane Lotus. So the first thing that I'm getting is breaking away, breaking chains. If you've been stagnant, I feel like there's an energy that's about to come through that's going to push you really, really hard. Now, this could be something that is moving you out of your comfort zone. I feel like that there's something too that you're doing though that is distracting you. I don't know. This could be social media. This could be looking at too much TV. This could be something. I keep getting like a vice or something that you're doing that is distracting you from things that you need to do. And Spirit is like, we got to push you out of that. And I feel like that they are, and maybe not in a good way. Could be that, something happens where you can't do whatever this distraction is, or you can't pour energy into it. Now, I am getting something with revelation, seeing something different, and it could be that Spirit is telling you you're about to break through something, but you got to let go of distractions so you can be ready to move forward. There's a lot of protection around you, a lot of ancestral protection around you. And I think that they're opening doors and they're ready for you to walk through it. So whatever the vice is, be prepared. Something's going to be cut. Maybe you're like me and you're on TikTok too much and every time you try to get on TikTok, your phone shuts down or something because it looks like Spirit is going to do it. I'm trying to see if I had any more questions. I think you answered all of them. Oh, no, 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 no. Does sage, the
Oh,
smoking out with sage, does that do anything for demons?
well, short answer, not really. And second, some
So they
demons
be in
actually,
there, they be in there in the smoke doing their little demon dance.
yeah, some of them actually do like the scent of sage. So, um, yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
you
be
want like if you want traditional banishings, look no further than the grimoire exorcisms or even the old form of the Ars Goetia. That has a complete thing. The PGM, if you look up the oh shit, the Steel of Jew or Steel of You, or I don't know how to pronounce it, so correct me on my pronunciation. But that whole original format is an exorcism. But yeah, the vocal the worded exorcisms are pretty rad, and they actually can kick out a lot of things. So be careful where you use it though, because some spirits don't ascribe to it, some do. So, but I mean, it does kick out a lot of energy, right? So
but not everything.
not everything, but I mean, if you want everything, then that a rite like that plus like a big spear, like a deity included, then yeah. So.
Yeah.
Um, let's take a look here. Let's see. Tiffany S. Are the sleep paralysis dreams spiritual? This looks more like a spiritual attack to me.
Mm.
Not necessarily like a vision or an omen or anything. So I'm not sure if you pissed someone off recently, inadvertently, or maybe somewhere in the background. But I would probably do a good cleanse, ward up, give some of your ancestors a bit more candle, water, and food. Help them, ask them to help them clean out your house and around your property, and carry some protection generally. But this one's a pretty actually moderate attack. So whoever's doing this is knows kind of what they're kind of doing.
Dang. People just ain't got nothing else to do.
I mean,
We already know. People ain't got nothing else to do. That's one of those things where you fuck around and find out, though.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. Vladimir, any messages? Career. So the first thing that I kept getting was politics and ambition. Um, it looks like that there's a lot of game playing underneath the surface with your career. And you might not be completely engaged in whatever the game is. Spirit is kind of like take a step back. There's some things that you're doing, cycles of something that you're doing that are not beneficial for you for moving up. Um, this could be, a lot of people nowadays don't want to kiss ass, because they just shit don't want to kiss ass on these jobs. But it looks like that you could be in a situation where politics is playing a big role in what is going on with your career. And it may be that you're having to network more with people you don't want to network with, or you're having to make connections with people that are going to be beneficial. But there is a lot of who you know type of energy that's going on with you. Mission is on top of you. High hell is showing moving forward with something, and it looks like that you have victory with it. Um, be careful of people making you false promises though in your career. Like if they are offering you something, they need to put it in writing. I don't like when people are like, oh, you're going to be promoted. Just work hard, and I got you. In the next 6 months, you'll be up. Don't tell me that shit. Put that shit in writing. I want to know my promotion is coming. I want to know how much I'm getting made or getting paid. Then you know how you get these promotions where people are like, "Oh, I'm going to give you the title," but there's no money there. So be careful that you're not being caught in your career with people that are making false promises. Everything that you are promised or everything that is being put in front of you, put it in writing. Get it in writing, because I get a lot of it's like game playing around, and I don't know what you do, but there's a lot of game playing around, and I get deaf with a lot of people too, which could be people trying to take credit for other people's work or things like that. Because I don't know, it kind of seems like you're in like a career where there's a lot of competition or something that's going in, and it's shady. You're gonna either have to play the game, learn how to play the game, or play the game better, is what I get.
Hmm. Um,
Who you choosing?
Lashonda Hankins, spirit message. So it seems that you're in the energy of something that we call puer, boy. I'm sorry, this is a geomantic figure. It's in the shape of a sword. Essentially, it's ruled by air. Well, the sign of Aries ruled by Mars. So it's a very impetus energy, very impulsive. Um, it would be recommended that you use this energy into delving into something new, like a project or a new hobby, directing this energy constructively than destructively. It's a sword that can destroy and cut away things that you don't want to, but um, refrain from, striking out at people. Even if they deserve it, just try to refrain from it because it just brings more of that kind of energy in. And chaos is something that you don't want at this time. So either you direct that energy and use it for yourself to improve your station, or essentially try to cool yourself off and try to mitigate any of that excess energy. So up to you how you want to play it.
Okay, so let me see. I'll ask you another question. Demons in their hierarchy. What is the pantheon of demons? Like, how does it
So
go?
it really depends on the mythology and cosmology that you're working from. And Western for well the Western side of things, it's very hierarchical. Um, the For example, I use the Ars Goetia combined with the Grimoire and Verum hierarchy, where you have Serlin, who's essentially the great constrainer. He brings in the big three: Lucifer, Beelzebub, Astaroth, or Grand Duke Astaroth, I should say. And when you make a pact with those guys, all the subordinates under them become pacted with you. Um, Under them, they have two attendants each. I don't. They have their own rankings out of the Grand Grimoire. The Grimoire and Viren doesn't have them, so you need to kind of refer to both if you want to work with those guys. But then when you get to the Ars Goetia side, you have the four kings of the four directions, which govern the other 72. So the idea with this particular hierarchy is more for pact making, I would say. But mostly out of the stuff that I work at is done with the Ars Poetic Demons. So
Good
but
Lord.
you appeal to the four. You call them, well. Dr. Cummins calls them the regents. I call them the High Kings. They're the ones that kind of situate in the cardinal directions. They serve as gatekeepers, but they are the ones that kind of govern those guys as well. But then you also have to go through Asmodeus, who's one of is the ruler of the 72. So yeah, it gets complicated depending on how you work and how your understanding of the system is. But what usually happens is just pick one out of one system, and then they'll show you the system, right?
Good.
So
Yeah, when I tell you, you have to research. And like he said, it depends on what system too that you're trying to connect. You have to research everything. Like even when Marcus was first telling me about the table of practice, and then what were we trying to separate? The Was it the holy daemon? Because we tried to do a few different things. The one with the metal container that I have like made.
right. So this goes back to like the remember that shoulder angel and demon.
Yes,
Traditionally, you would only talk to the angel and you would ignore the evil genius, but
the evil
sometimes
genius.
Yeah, sometimes the bad demon or the evil genius, people like to seal that up, and then like edge capture that way. Because the idea behind this, like behind the evil genius, is that it only tempts you to do bad things. It's the thing that is born with you to get in the way of your life. And this goes back to the devil made me do it energy. This
Mhm.
is one of them. So when you seal it up, when you conjure it into the container and you seal it up and all that stuff, it's so that it gets out of the way, so that you never have to deal with it again. So,
So, like, if you have an addiction issue or things where you're tempted to do things like that, if you seal it up,
oh yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
should
Like,
take away the
well,
temptation
according to that system, right?
to want to do it.
That particular belief. So that is, every bad thing that you do is this thing exacerbating it. So you like
Yes.
to fight, this thing goads you. You like to eat, this thing goads you. You like to lie, this thing goads you, and
Yeah.
so on
Whatever
and
it
so forth.
is.
So,
Let me tell y'all real quick. Marcus was telling me, and he was right. He was breaking it down what you needed to do. I have like 20 something pages of notes, y'all. 20 something pages of notes. And then he said it has to be in a metal container that it can't get out of. And then you put it somewhere dark or whatever. And I never did it, y'all, for the simple reason that I was gung ho until I started thinking, what the fuck happens when it gets out? Like, what if I don't secure it good enough and it gets out and it comes back with a vengeance?
well, I don't think any spirit likes to be trapped anywhere.
Exactly, exactly.
So,
Your girl got scared, y'all. Your girl got scared. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I think that's with any tradition that you walk. Like I have to understand what it is that I'm supposed to do and research it and focus on. If I don't feel comfortable with it, I don't mess with it. I don't mess with it. And that particular thing, I was kind of like, yeah, oh, I'm gung ho. My life is going to be for the better. And then I kept thinking, what the fuck if it gets out? If it gets out, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. So your girl pulled back quickly.
well, there are other ways to deal with that particular spirit. I didn't do it that way. I did it a different way. So, more or less, it works for me now.
That's what the master. The master. He don't have that same fear. And I love that about him. He don't have that same fear. Me, I be sitting up here thinking about what could eat on me. What the fuck could eat on me? And I don't think Marcus I don't think he deals with those issues at
Well, if
all.
there's one thing that I've learned in my time with the LHP side is, there's always going to be a bigger fish. Make sure you are the bigger fish. So,
Yeah, I wasn't feeling big fishes. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't. I was coming in timid. Like, ugh. And I don't think you can come in timid. I think you gotta be like, hey, I'm here. This is what we do. I was coming in timid, y'all. Timid. Let's see. Let me answer this question, Kiara, about your journey. So here's the thing. You got a lot of things that are opening up for you. I see motivation, I see moving forward, I see a voyage, possibly moving somewhere else or going somewhere. And there's a lot of education or a lot of things that you can learn, which will be good for you. But I also get fraud and misrepresentation on something. Please, before you sign any binding contracts or commit to something, make sure that you are getting exactly what you are committing to. Um, because I'm definitely seeing some things that one spiritually could come in and cause you problems. You definitely need to cleanse, keep your protection up because you have spiritual troubles that are coming in. Be really careful about who you're talking to, who you're sharing stuff with, because that person could be an enemy. They could be putting blockages up. But I also feel like, be careful of fraud. Be careful of people that are telling you one thing and then they're trying to do something else. It's just not going to be good for you. You're going in the right path, but spirit is like, really don't get fooled by the okey doke. Keep your eye on the prize of what it is. And like I said, and I think in business, corporations, and things like that, before you sign anything, Know what you signing up for. These companies will be like, oh, the interview, yeah, we're going to give you $80,000 or whatever. And then you get there and it's like 60, and oh, we're going to give you an opportunity to work up. We got, opportunities to move up in the company. No, I want my 80,000 and I want to move up. So be really careful on that. All right, Marcus, you want to take one more, sweets? I don't think I have any more questions, but let's get one more question for you and then we'll call it a night. And y'all, like I said, if you have more questions and you're more interested in what Marcus does, because this would be his thing, hit him up. He can give you a reading. He can tell you how to work with a particular spirit. If you have a particular angel or demon or entity that is coming in to you, he can probably help you break it down and understand who it is, and what needs to be done. All right.
So I guess, did you already read for Sierra Moss?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
you did.
just did
Oh,
that.
you did. Okay. Hmm.
Nicole, it was way more serious than the sour jar. Trust me. Way more serious.
Hmm. Let me see.
Hey, Nika. And y'all let me know how y'all like this format. Like, I mean, we're not going to do it all the time, but it would be nice to have people on here that maybe we could ask questions about the way that they practice, the systems that they utilize or whatever, as far as different ways of divination. I would like to introduce this so we can get a little education too.
This is for Max Molman, general message from Spirit. Um, it seems that you are in a place of isolation right now, or you may feel like you're in a place of isolation right now. It may feel like the end of the world, but don't forget that solitude does not necessarily mean loneliness. You can use this time to rediscover yourself or fall in love with yourself. There's many things that you can do, um, many kinds of things that you can do alone. But one thing I would probably suggest is maybe a path of self improvement when you have the time, um, or put the time into it. And when you're ready to leave your room or leave the confines of your safe space, uh, then you're good and ready to strike out with into the world again. So, um, yeah, use this time for self reflection, self improvement. It'll do you wonders in the future.
Good. Didn't you read Mr. Maurice Evans Jones? I know you answered the question.
Yeah, I answered something earlier.
Yeah, you might have to go back in and look because he did. It probably was maybe like 20 minutes ago.
No, I think it was a little earlier than that.
Oh, it
Try
was?
looking in the first half of the session.
Okay.
I think it was in the first half of the session.
Yeah, I'm about to end it so you can go back in and look at it and try to catch up with it. But yeah, I remember he did call your name. Um Y'all, please be careful of the scammers because they're going to be hitting y'all up or trying to come back in this evening. You do not need to go to WhatsApp for a reading. Marcus has a booking page, the Friendly Neighborhood Necromancer. I have my booking page. My link is on my page. My page, these pages are public. You don't have to get any type of friend request. Please do not send any money unless you're sending a donation to Doug Graves. And Doug, you can take donations through PayPal, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing Canada affords us. So
And they can actually go to the Friendly Necromancer page and hit your donation button, right?
yeah, it's there for those who want to donate. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Hey, Janie and Justice, I'm sorry, y'all, we ending it, but if y'all want to get more insight with Marcus, the Destroyer, please go to his page, the Friendly Neighborhood Necromancer. Like I said, you can book readings. You can also leave a donation there. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'd be happy to, answer them. Um, And I appreciate y'all being here tonight and trying this different concept. I was thinking it was going to scare a lot of people off, but y'all surprised me. They came in with the energy and the questions. They say we ain't no punk bitches.
Well, thank you for having me, Auntie. It's a pleasure.
Anytime, anytime. Have a good night, y'all. Bye.